once fertile fields now lay scarred and torn, evidence of a beast that doesn't go down easy. Locals whispered about a monstrous alpha boar, massive, aggressive, and feared by all. We rallied quickly, steel-eyed and dead set on a single goal: track it down and restore peace. But would our years of experience and tight teamwork be enough to conquer this unforgiving challenge? Follow our crew as we dive into one of the toughest hunts yet. No matter how cunning, wild boars follow the same beaten trails, moving from feeding grounds to the rugged slopes where they hide. We spotted the herd climbing slowly uphill and crept in close, eyes locked on our target. When the alpha emerged, I held my breath, lined up the shot, and squeezed the trigger. The bullet struck true. He dropped instantly. More shots rang out from the team, multiple targets down. The rest fled into the dense woods. This wasn't luck. It was the result of sharp tactics, tight coordination, and the ability to read the land and the prey like second nature. That's what gives us the edge, even on the roughest terrain. If that takedown impressed you, hit that like button. After hours of waiting in ambush, we'd barely sat down when word came in. A boar was moving at the base of the hill. We rushed into position. Suddenly, it charged, fast, furious, straight at us. I held my ground, focused, and took the shot. The bullet tore through, dropping it instantly. Under the blazing sun, I moved through the thick forest lining the hillside. Silent, careful, calculated. Then, I saw it. One lone boar resting on the forest floor. I held my breath, steadied my scope, and pulled the trigger. One clean shot. No noise, no struggle. In moments like this, it's not just skill or luck. It's nerves of steel, patience, and battle-hardened experience. That's what sets true hunters apart and gives us the strength to face anything the wild land throws at us. Just as calm returned, the hounds let out a sharp bark. They had locked on. The team tensed, ready for the decisive moment. I took aim. 2 deafening shots rang out. The target dropped cold. The danger is always there, but this is our home. And protecting it is not just duty, it's an unbreakable promise. The barrel hadn't even cooled when word came. The alpha boar had been spotted on the rocky hilltop. Then, it emerged from behind the rocks. I stayed calm, took aim, fired. A clean kill. The beast's massive body hit the ground with a final thud. No struggle, no sound, just stillness in the wild. To succeed, you need more than skill. You need grit, preparation, and the courage to walk alone where few dare to tread. As dusk crept in and we thought the hunt was over, 2 more boars appeared, racing across the slope. Eyes locked on, I tapped into every ounce of focus and experience to line up the perfect shot. Every detail had been checked. Rifle sighted, trigger set, timing perfect. Bang! Then bang again! Both targets down. The day's hunt ended not with relief, but with pride, precision, readiness, and steel nerves. That's what it takes to win in moments of life or death.
In Morocco, the population of wild boars is increasing rapidly, causing serious damage to agriculture and forcing many locals to abandon their farmland. Some more dangerous incidents have also occurred, such as a man being attacked by a wild boar in Chichewa province. Locals have called on the government to step up measures, such as building fences and organizing regular hunts. Responding to that call, our hunting team quickly set off, determined to minimize the damage and ensure the safety of the community. Our entire team gathered at the foot of the mountain around 6 a.m. The hunting party included people of all ages, from old to young, all driven by one goal: to eliminate the invading wild boars. After a quick 5-minute briefing, everyone moved to their assigned positions. "There's a boar down there," Hall's shout drew all eyes downward. I quickly raised my rifle, locked on the target, and fired a volley of shots without hesitation. Under the force of gunfire, several more boars were taken down. What do you think? Not a bad shooting performance, right? We had just taken a short break when loud noises erupted from the other side of the mountain. One of our teammates had just spotted a wild boar. It was moving incredibly fast, up to 40 kilometers h, making it very difficult to aim accurately. However, thanks to the tight encirclement, the boar couldn't escape and was taken down by a deadly, well-placed shot. Things remained intense. We had just spotted another target. We rushed into position. I steadied my breathing, finger ready on the trigger. 3, 2, 1, fire. Bullseye. The wild boar immediately collapsed, and we were overwhelmed with joy. Every successful hunting moment like this fills us with a thrill that's hard to describe. The next afternoon, we continued our wild boar pursuit. After about half an hour with no signs of life, hope seemed dim until suddenly a boar dashed right in front of us, triggering a wave of excitement. At such close range, everything became simpler. With a single precise shot, we managed to bring it down in mere seconds. The sound of gunfire frightened the wild boars, causing them to bolt from their hiding spots. The hunting dogs wasted no time. They chased the boars relentlessly, driving them straight toward us. "Get ready to shoot," Hall called out from afar. I raised my rifle, one lightning-fast shot, and the target lost momentum, collapsing instantly. One boar managed to escape the previous shot, and we had to give chase immediately. We covered 100, then 200 meters, but it still wasn't enough to bring it down. The strength of this creature was no joke. We had to reposition and block it from the front, closing tighter. This time, in front of the team's most experienced shooter, the boar finally fell. Still on the same mountain, I adjusted my scope, aiming at a wild boar being chased just ahead. The moment is now, I told myself, pulling the trigger immediately. A decisive shot brought the boar down after just a few more steps. Not just us, the hunting dogs were also thrilled by the success. Tension, adrenaline, and pure suspense. These are the unforgettable emotions that come with wild boar hunting. But this journey isn't just about the thrill. It carries a greater mission: to protect crops, restore ecological balance, and reduce the damage caused by these destructive animals. And just like every time, we began another wild boar hunt today. Wasting no time, the moment we reached the mountain trail in our trusty vehicle, we released our hunting dogs to scout freely. Only about 10 minutes later, they erupted in frantic barking, a hopeful signal that a boar had been spotted. I rushed in, gun raised and ready. There it was. I moved quickly, adjusted my aim, and then, boom! A clean opening shot ended the chase in an instant. The boar dropped right where it stood. Hunting dogs truly make a huge difference. Thanks to them, we didn't need to wear ourselves out combing the vast area. They led us straight to the prey. Oh my God, look at that. Not one, but two wild boars came charging straight at us. My heart was pounding, but I kept my breath steady and fired 2 quick shots. In less than 5 seconds, both boars were down in a cloud of dust. An intense and exhilarating encounter. Once again, our loyal dogs came through. Hearing them barking in the distance, we tracked a boar attempting to flee. But this one didn't run away in fear. It charged straight at us with ferocity. Luckily, Roy was ready. One powerful shot was all it took to bring the aggressive boar crashing down.
sıcaktı. Ta aşağı kadar iniyorduk arabayla.
A call came in from one of our teammates. A boar had been spotted on the narrow trail ahead. We rushed forward, just in time to see it bursting into view. Without hesitation, we lined up the shot and nailed it. Another success, another trophy in our wild boar hunting journey. The chase was heating up. From our vantage point, we spotted a dense group of wild boars below. This was our moment. I singled out a boar that had broken away from the herd and quickly took my shot, but missed.
Oradan oradan geçti. Kulağını sardı.
We didn't give up. We immediately pursued it downhill, pushing forward until we found the perfect position. This time, the shot hit. The boar collapsed and rolled down the slope. Mission accomplished. The terrain here was wide and densely forested, not ideal for spotting these clever, elusive creatures. They knew how to stay hidden and moved with surprising agility. After nearly an hour of searching, we finally spotted them on a nearby ridge. We couldn't let this golden opportunity slip away. Rushing to higher ground, we took aim and fired. A clean hit brought one boar down instantly, while the others scattered in fear. Speed, firepower, relentless pursuit. Every second is captured in raw, unfiltered footage shot by professional hunters. No refarshaus, no retakes, just instinct and a life or death battle between man and beast. Are you ready to enter this fight for survival? Let's dive in right now. The first stop. The Pindus Mountains, a rugged range where treacherous terrain, dense forests, and a rich ecosystem form the perfect maze for wild boars to hide. At 5 a.m., Ronan started up his trusted vehicle, quietly gliding through the cold morning mist toward the mountain's base. Wasting no time, he and his hunting dog plunged into the deep forest, tracking the creature locals ominously call the Shadow on snow. After over 30 minutes of silent pursuit in skin-piercing cold, a dark figure suddenly charged, heading straight for Ronan. In less than a minute, it was nearly upon him. Would you stay calm enough to pull the trigger in that moment? Ronan didn't hesitate. A precise, decisive shot. A mark was left on the Pindus Mountains, but the journey was far from over. Felix and his team, binoculars in hand, the silence was suffocating. 15 minutes passed. Then a dark silhouette silently drifted through the low grass. Felix held his breath, eyes locked through the scope. The moment the target came into range of light, deliberate squeeze. One clean shot. The beast dropped in the grass without a sound. When the ground no longer offers a clear view, the sky becomes the next battlefield. This time, we follow Dustin's team soaring above the wide-open skies of Texas.
Oh, we got several of them, yeah. Okay.
As the last light of dusk fades, the helicopter roars to life, slicing through the air, sweeping low over the terrain in search of the beast below.
Oh, look at there, that was good.
The pilot swiftly maneuvers in close, holding the chopper steady to give Dustin the perfect firing angle. Gunfire erupts, one by one. The targets fall, collapsing into the grass as blades of green fly with every impact. Wild boar carcasses lie scattered across the field. Today, the skies of Texas belong to the hunters. Leaving the skies of Texas behind, we now head into the mountains of Corsica, a place where movement is restricted by thick brush and rugged terrain. Lewis's team had arrived early. With all gear prepared, he moved into a pre-marked position, giving him a clear view of the opposing hillside. While scanning the dense bushes, a familiar silhouette suddenly came into view, a wild boar, sniffing through the grass, foraging for food. Lewis tightened his grip on the rifle and pulled the trigger.
Okay, it's okay for you.
One clean, decisive shot.
Yeah.
The journey now takes us to Gorsky Kotor, a rugged land where thick forests and rolling hills weave together into a natural maze, perfect for wild boars to disappear into. Scott, along with his pack of hunting dogs, moves steadily uphill, weaving through rocky trails and dense undergrowth. Less than 10 minutes in, the dogs erupt, barking furiously at a nearby thicket. Suddenly, a wild boar bursts out like a bullet. The shot rings out the moment it breaks cover. Another ambush, over in a heartbeat. No time to think, no time to run. Thousands of farmlands across the United States are being ravaged by feral hogs. They sweep through like a destructive force, wiping out crops and livestock enclosures, leaving behind barren fields and millions of dollars in damage. But the hunters have stepped in. Every ambush and chase today is part of the fight to reclaim this land. Do they have what it takes to hold the final line of defense? Let's find out right now. The intense chase through the Oklahoma forest marked the opening scene of today's hunt. Jack and his team arrived at the designated location with their skilled hunting dogs. As soon as they got there, the team spread out in different directions, and the dogs immediately took off to follow the scent. After 15 minutes of searching, a familiar signal rang out, indicating that the prey had been found. The whole team rushed to the spot. Hidden in the thick grass, a wild boar was struggling to escape the tightening circle of dogs. Just a moment later, a gunshot rang out. The boar dropped on the spot with no time to flee. At that very moment, a cold and calculated ambush was unfolding, almost as if the hunter had predicted the prey's every move. Mike held his position at a familiar trail choke point, eyes locked on the slightest motion in the brush ahead. Then, a wild boar quietly emerged from the undergrowth. Without hesitation, Mike pulled the trigger the instant it stepped into view. The gunshot rang out, clean and decisive. The beast collapsed on the spot. At the same time, shots echoed from other directions, signaling that more targets have been taken down. Now comes a precision shot that couldn't have been more perfect from the track hunting team. On this trip, Track and his teammates coordinated seamlessly with their elite hunting dogs. The entire team had arrived early and moved straight into their pre-planned positions. Not long after, on the far side of the hill, one of Track's teammates spotted a wild boar being closely pursued by the dogs. Not giving it a chance to fight back, he raised his rifle, took careful aim, and pulled the trigger. With a single shot, the beast dropped, taken down before it could even turn its head. An exceptional marksman. Just one precise move was enough to bring down the prey instantly. Atop the hills of Missouri, a heart-pounding chase was unfolding. Luca's hunting team had just picked up fresh tracks when suddenly a massive wild boar, easily over 400 pounds, came charging through, its frantic sprint hinting at something it was desperately fleeing from. Without hesitation, the team snapped into position. A barrage of gunfire rang out, each shot tracking the beast's every stride. The chase came to a swift end just beyond a pile of rocks and dirt. One more threat eliminated. Peace restored once again to the hills of Missouri. Wild boars in this area are incredibly cunning. Just as said, they vanish without a trace. Finally, the target emerged. It stepped out slowly, unaware that fate was already closing in. Taking perfect aim, Ronnie squeezed the trigger. One shot, clean and quiet, the boar dropped on a bed of dry leaves. A cold, calculated takedown, bringing an eerie end to a silent ambush.
In many vast agricultural regions across the US, especially in states like Texas and Florida, wild boars cause billions of dollars in damage. With their rapid reproduction and herd behavior, they devastate crops, uproot soil, pollute water sources, and even attack livestock. Today, our team set out at dawn. Pickup trucks rolled forward, carrying experienced hunters and advanced equipment. Our mission? To enter the hardest hit areas and stop the spread before the new growing season begins. At the break of dawn, we arrived at the first hotspot. The biting cold of a Texas winter seemed to freeze everything in place. In an environment like this, every sense must be pushed to the limit. Any trace in the snow is a clue, and any movement could be a target. The morning mist turned the snow-covered dry forest into a deadly arena. When the wild boar appeared, time seemed to freeze. I squeezed the trigger. The bullet struck like a powerful lightning bolt, taking down the target in an instant, restoring peace to this land. Looks like today's start is off to a smooth run, folks. While I got off to a smooth start, on another front, my teammate faced his own challenge. John was assigned to guard outside the edge of the forest. The world was silent behind his noise-canceling headphones, with only the cold rifle stock in his hands. Suddenly, a wild boar tore through the distant forest edge, charging straight at him like a rocket. John focused all his fear into a single aim, and boom! The beast collapsed onto the snowy ground with only a few steps between them. He let out a sigh of relief. Peace had returned. For the sake of the crop's safety, David braved the freezing cold, tracking the destructive beast's trail along the icy hillside. Suddenly, it poked its head out from the bushes. When their eyes met, it panicked and bolted, but it was too late. A gunshot echoed, ending it all in the blink of an eye. One shot fired to keep the harvest from ruin. We ventured deeper into the dense forest. Here, the game completely changed. Visibility was blocked by countless tree trunks, and every bush, every shadow could be hiding an enemy. We had to move slowly, weaving around each tree root, straining our eyes and ears to catch even the slightest movement. Through the scope, a massive wild boar lumbered into our guarded zone. It wisely paused behind a tree trunk, listening carefully. I exhaled slowly, knowing this was a one-shot chance. Now or never. A decisive bullet struck its fatal spot, taking it down instantly. Mission accomplished. A copper candy flies away, bringing peace back to the village. What do you guys think? Was that shot worthy of a masterpiece? Our mission isn't just to guard one area, but to actively track down lone individuals threatening to enter residential zones. Thomas weaved through dry tree trunks, eyes scanning alertly. There it is! A solitary wild boar on the move. We're not getting any further. His heart raced as he locked it into his sights, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Bang! The threat stopped cold, far from the village. One shot fired deep in the wild, keeping the community safe. Evening had fallen, the cold seeping into my bones after a long day of relentless pursuit. On the way back, I suddenly froze. There stood a hefty wild boar, head down, completely unaware. The perfect final prize of the day. A deadly shot rang out, ending a hunt that couldn't have gone any better. The sun had fully set as we headed back in the Tesla electric truck, closing out a long but meaningful day of battle. From the first shots fired in the biting cold of dawn, to the tense maneuvers in the dense forest by afternoon, it was all for one common goal: protecting the peace of the village. We are grateful for the close coordination of our team, local authorities, and the farmers, those who have stood shoulder to shoulder with us on this journey. These wild boars are not just threats eliminated, they're also a valuable source of food. Some will be prepared and shared with the community who have always supported us. The rest will be sent to processing plants to supply clean, quality meat to the market. Today's journey has come to an end, but the battle to protect the land continues. Thank you all for watching. See you on the next hunt!